Andrew Shovlin, Mercedes' chief engineer, recently spoke about the team's progress. The latest information suggests that the German team is making incredible strides, but there's still a lot of work ahead, especially in hot conditions and on circuits that are hard on the rear tires. Comparing them to their rivals, Shovlin admitted that Mercedes isn't as strong as McLaren at the moment, and on some tracks, Red Bull also has the upper hand. But what does this mean for Mercedes' future? Will they be able to continue developing the car until the end of the season? Shovlin seems optimistic, but cautious. He mentioned that the team has good ideas, but there's a big difference between having an idea and actually putting physical parts on the car that make it go faster. It's a race against time, as everyone is trying to develop their cars. It's interesting to see how Mercedes is handling the challenges. At the beginning of the season, the car was difficult to drive and improve. Shovlin admitted it was tricky to look at the car and understand what needed to be done to make it fast. But the team responded brilliantly to the challenge. They set an ambitious goal. By the end of the season, they wanted to qualify on pole and win races. And guess what? They've already secured 3 wins in the last 4 races, with 6 consecutive podiums. Speaking of development, Mercedes made a bold move by introducing an innovative front wing in Monaco. The most interesting part? This wing was originally planned for the end of the season. This shows how the team is accelerating its development to catch up with the leaders. But it's not all smooth sailing. Mercedes still faces challenges, particularly with the infamous bouncing. In Spa, they had to revert to an older floor due to this issue. Shovlin said the bouncing was causing problems in high-speed sections and affecting the car's balance. This shook the confidence of both Hamilton and Russell, especially on a long circuit like Spa. The solution was to go back to the old package. But this isn't necessarily a step backward. The team believes the bouncing was caused by how they set up the car, not by the upgrades themselves. Now, let's talk a bit about the future. Mercedes is already looking ahead to 2025 and beyond. With Lewis Hamilton moving to Ferrari, there's a lot of speculation about who will be George Russell's next teammate. Rumors point to the young Kimi Antonelli, but is he ready for the challenge? Toto Wolff seems to see great potential in Antonelli, but he also knows that the pressure in F1 is immense. Remember when Max Verstappen debuted at 17? Everyone thought it was crazy, and look where he is now. Could Antonelli be the next prodigy to shake up the grid? Now, let's talk a bit about Red Bull because things don't seem as calm as they used to be. Helmut Marko, the team's advisor, admitted that Daniel Ricciardo missed the chance to return to Red Bull. This opens the door for speculation. Recently, Sainz signed with Williams, but according to Marko, he only went there due to a lack of other options. Could Red Bull be eyeing Sainz? Think about it. There was all that drama with Perez, Liberty Media, and the sponsors. Red Bull decided to keep Perez hoping for good results, but if he doesn't perform well by the end of the year, Red Bull will need to act. This opens the door for many people, including Sainz. There are rumors of a supposed clause in his contract with Williams stating that he can leave if he gets an offer from a top team. Could the Spaniard just be parking at Williams while waiting for a better seat? And with Ricciardo out of the running, Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda are also fighting for Perez's seat. What a crazy situation at Red Bull. Issues with the car, key figures like Newey and Wheatley leaving, and the Constructors' Championship under threat. Verstappen is still leading the championship, but the gap has significantly shrunk. Even Max himself admitted he's worried about Red Bull's future, especially with the switch to their own engines in 2026. But back to Mercedes, the team seems to be in a transitional phase. They're dealing not only with the technical challenges of the car, but also with changes in the driver lineup. However, Shovlin appears confident and said that they will continue developing the car and hope to keep winning races. An interesting aspect of Mercedes' development is how they are handling the bouncing issue. Shovlin explained that they preferred to work on a familiar platform and prioritize driver confidence over pure performance. This reminds us of what Frédéric Vasseur, Ferrari's team principal, said about how much the driver can make a difference in these situations. Meanwhile, Red Bull seems to be facing its own challenges. Pierre Wache, the team's technical director, admitted that the RB20 isn't performing as expected. He mentioned that finding more downforce on paper doesn't always make the car faster on the track. This makes us wonder, is Red Bull's era of dominance coming to an end? And what about McLaren? The team from Woking has made impressive progress throughout the season. Lando Norris has already won a race and is close behind Verstappen in the standings. Oscar Piastri has also shown his potential, winning in Hungary. Could they be the biggest threat to Mercedes and Red Bull in the near future? A crucial point for Mercedes will be how they handle the transition from Hamilton to his successor, whether it's Antonelli or another driver. Russell will have to take on a more prominent leadership role in the team. Is he ready for this challenge? We also can't forget the impact of the new regulations coming in 2026. All teams are eyeing this change, including Mercedes. How are they preparing for this new era of F1? Will we see a revolution in car design? The situation with Alpine is also interesting in this scenario. There are rumors that they could become a Mercedes customer in terms of engines. How would this affect the balance of power on the grid? And what about Williams? They seem to be following their own development path, even while using Mercedes engines. Could we see a competitive Williams again in the near future? And we can't forget to mention Aston Martin. With rumors that Adrian Newey might join the team and speculations about their interest in Verstappen, could they become a dominant force in the coming years? With all these changes and developments, one thing is certain. Formula One has never been more exciting. We have teams fighting to get back to the top, young talents emerging, and champions switching teams. It's as if we're living through multiple seasons in one. Mercedes, in particular, seems to be at a crucial moment. They've made significant progress, but still have challenges to overcome. As Chauvelin said, "We knew we wanted to win races, and we set a goal to qualify on pole and win races by the end of the season." They've already achieved part of that goal, but can they maintain this momentum? And what about the team's long-term future? With the regulatory changes coming in 2026, all teams are entering uncharted territory. Mercedes, with its history of adaptation and innovation, seems well-positioned to face these challenges. But how will they compare to Red Bull, which is developing its own engine, or to Audi, which is entering F1? So what do you think? Will Mercedes be able to return to the top in 2024? Is Antonelli the right choice for the team's future? And most importantly, will we see Verstappen in silver overalls in 2026? Leave your opinions in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss any updates from the world of F1. See you next time, folks.